Welcome to Ask John and April, where we take your questions and we answer them right here. And we have a question today, but before we get to that, we'd like you to subscribe to our channel. Feel free to do it right now. If you do, it's going to change your life.
And after you enjoy this video, go ahead and like it.
Actually, you can like it before you actually like it.
This question comes from AJ.
All right, AJ, what you got?
Do you guys think there's a problem if a couple makes a decision and then one person changes because they spoke to a family or friend about it? Wow.
Okay, so let me see if I understand the question.
Okay.
Is the person asking, okay, me and you talked about something, we decided this is what we're going to do.
Yes.
And then I decide to talk to my parent about it or my best friend or whatever, and then I come back and say, I don't want to do what we decided already.
Exactly.
We're going to do something else.
That's exactly what they're asking.
Okay, all right. So is there something wrong with that? Well, the first thing is, I think that if it's a big deal type decision, and if it was a decision that you guys came to together, like maybe you deliberated over for a long time and you went through a whole lot to get to it, it might feel like betrayal if I just switch it up after talking to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
I have to agree with you on that, but I would have to say, even if it's not a big deal.
You're probably right.
I mean, think about it. Let's say we decided that we're gonna go to a Thai restaurant, right?
Yes.
And then your boy calls and you're like, yeah, I just talked to so-and-so, I think we're gonna do Mexican. And I'd be like, but we said we're doing Thai. And I was all excited. I mean, I wouldn't trip about it, but I would feel like, man, you just talked to him and things just changed like that after we made a decision.
So for me, that's not as big of a deal because I do think it's okay if each person in the couple, in the relationship, changes their mind. And sometimes their mind might be changed by another person. I don't know that that's that big of a deal because it's such a small decision. I don't think that's that deep. I don't think that we have to have full agreement on everything we do and that once we decide, we never can change our minds.
Well, that's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, let's say you make that decision, even if it's small, and then we've decided, and then out of nowhere you're like, nah, we're gonna do this because you talked to so-and-so without discussing it with me. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's like if you said, yeah, I talked to Johnny or whatever, and you know, he said he'd rather do Mexican. Are you okay with that? Or what do you think about that? And then I could say, oh, I was really looking forward to Thai. You think he'll change his mind about that or whatever? It's like we're making it together.
But you're saying if we make a decision together, we need to change our minds together. Basically, if I change my mind, I can't just change my mind and make a unilateral decision.
That's what I think.
I agree with that.
I mean, what I think it does is it causes me to then resent your daddy, your Johnny, you know, boo boo, and you know what I'm saying? Because it's like every time you talk to this person, things change.
Now that's a different thing. So I would say, if every time you talk to a certain person you change your mind, that would really be a problem, even if it's a small thing.
Okay,
so even in small decisions, I would have an issue if every time you talk to so-and-so, then no matter what we decided, it's definitely going to change.
Exactly.
That would be a problem. That would make me feel like our relationship is not necessarily the highest. I would feel like your relationship with that person is higher than my relationship with you.
Right. And I think this is so important because this happens really a lot with like parents.
Right.
You know, you're used to asking your parents for advice or used to them telling you what to do. I mean, years of that. Right. Then all of a sudden you're in this relationship and now you're making decisions together. Right. You tell your parent or whoever. Whatever
decision you made.
Right.
You hear their reaction.
Exactly.
And then you may default to whatever it was that used to happen 15 years ago when you were in their house.
You said it perfectly. That's it. I wouldn't have said it that good.
And yeah, I agree that's a problem. So
it is.
I think especially early on in a relationship, AJ, when I have no idea where you are in your relationship, but if you're early in the relationship, it's especially important for the two of you guys to be trying to establish your own thing and get comfortable making decisions that may be questioned by others, but you guys have made a decision.
Exactly.
Stand on that decision. And listen, it's not the worst thing in the world if you made a bad decision. I mean,
you know,
what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying?
If it's not like against your morals and the things that you believe in, then I mean, like, what's the big deal?
That's right. Sometimes you're not going to make a perfect decision. And really, you're going to learn how to make decisions better as you mess up. So it's when you make a decision together as a couple, and then if people talk about it and say stuff, you guys can come back and reconvene and talk about it again, and maybe you change your minds together, maybe you don't, maybe you stick with it. Right. If you stick with it and it turns out it was a bad decision, guess what? You'll learn from it, you'll make a better decision next time. Yeah. But it's gonna be better for your relationship if you do it that way than always defaulting to the person that you were, you know, in a relationship with before. When I say in a relationship, I mean, you know, when we grew up and lived in our parents' homes, there was a certain way our relationship was. That's supposed to adjust once we get married.
Exactly. But I will say this. if there's a situation where there's a person who, you know, every time they make a decision with their partner, it changes once they talk to this person.
Yes.
Even if I come back and say, so, you know, I was just thinking that, you know, we made this decision, but I was thinking blah, 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 blah. You might be like,
would you actually
did
say
you
blah,
talk?
blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, I would say blah, 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 blah. And you actually, and then every time I'm like, did you talk to your mama? Or did you talk to, you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like, because we make a decision, like decision is made, we decided on it, but then every time you come back with, later after you have discussed this with that person.
Yes.
And we didn't talk to that person together.
Right.
I think that could cause some, you know, after a while, it just may start getting so bad that you get tired of that. Like, we can't ever make a decision. So I think you have to be balanced in that. Like, do you have to run everything by this person?
Yeah.
Do you have to be telling this person everything that we are deciding, so even if it's just all the big things? It's like, sometimes it just wants to be like, we made the decision, done. We just tell them what we're doing.
So you said, you're basically saying to AJ, maybe you may need to stop talking to other people about your decisions if you have trouble with always second guessing.
Right.
Because that eventually erodes the relationship.
Yeah, because then it makes you feel like, for me, it would make me feel like you don't trust to make decisions with me.
That's right.
Like, you always have to run it by your person.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
to confirm that this is the right decision. And then it begins to make you feel like you're not trusted.
Right.
Or, you know, they think that you're not the kind of person that can really make good decisions.
It would almost be impossible. It would almost be impossible to not feel self-conscious about that.
Yeah.
Because we came to the decision together. It was both of us.
Exactly.
We liked it at the end. We did the thing at the end. Said, okay, go team.
Exactly.
And then after, as soon
we're
as
all
that,
excited.
Yeah. And now you go talk to somebody else about it.
Yeah.
So if the person knows, like, let's say it's my mother, right? Hypothetical, because that's not true.
No.
Let's just say it's my mother. I'm always running to her or whatever. I think what ends up happening is the word you said earlier. You'll start resenting her because every time we talk, I got to run it by her, and then she has the power
to change
our minds
with one little sentence,
with one little thing, whatever it was.
I think that's a problem.
Yes,
so AJ, if that's what's happening, then you probably need to just lay off talking to anybody else and just make your decision, be confident with that, and be done. I mean, you're grown. You know what I'm saying? Once you become a grown person, you should be able to make decisions, and if you want to, or if somebody asks, you tell them what you're doing, and then that's it.
That's it.
You know?
And you gotta be confident in your decision. And your confidence is not in that this is the best decision you've ever made, it will never go wrong. The confidence is that we have a relationship and we decided on this together. I am confident in our relationship.
Exactly.
So you don't have to be confident that the decision is necessarily going to be a perfect one.
Right.
No one makes perfect decisions.
No.
But I think you're always gonna get better at decision making together as a couple.
Exactly.
As you struggle through and sometimes fail and have to redo it, that's the best way. So there's nothing wrong with actually getting it wrong.
Well, after what you said, I would like the video, babe.
I would definitely like this video.
Because that was said perfectly.
I would have been like it already, though. You know what I'm saying?
No, but that was said perfectly.
I wouldn't just like it, I would share too. You know what I'm saying?
And subscribe.
And subscribe. That's right. Anyway, we hope we helped you. And by the way, we were talking to AJ that whole time, but AJ asked the question, and AJ is talking about their significant other. Right. So I hope somehow you get that person to watch this video for you. Anyway, talk to you next time.
Okay, guys.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.